One of the most controversial and highest grossing movies, as well as 11 Oscar nominations for the film Joker in 2019, was a massive success that came out of nowhere. It is going to be getting a sequel that's releasing in theaters this weekend. This also might be another massive disappointment in my top 10 most anticipated films of the year. So let's get into the review. Joker, Folie, Deux is co-written and directed by Todd Phillips. As the film stars once again Joaquin Phoenix as Joker himself, as well as Lady Gaga as Harley Quinn. So going into this film, I was very excited for this, as it was a part of my top 10 most anticipated films of 2024, as I was really excited to see what Todd Phillips could do with another Joker movie, as it was not intended to have a sequel. So this would be a standalone movie, but because the movie made over $1 billion unadjusted for inflation, this movie had to get a sequel. And the sequel for this film had a lot of different ideas, with it originally maybe having a musical sequel, and then essentially they turned that musical stage production into this movie, because this movie is a musical psychological thriller, and I actually really enjoyed these musical moments. But I'm gonna be honest with you guys, many of these musical moments didn't really work for this film, considering that this whole film is essentially based off of a courtroom trial, and that's pretty much it. I think if this whole movie was condensed into maybe like the first 30 or 40 minutes of a film, and then we have brand new story after that, I think this could have really worked. But this movie just feels like a very long 2 hour and 18-minute epilogue to the first Joker film, and I was just so disappointed by it, because this film had a very promising start with something that I did not expect, and I loved every second of it. But then as this movie goes along, it becomes very clear that this movie isn't really going anywhere, and it just became so predictable that I honestly just wanted this movie to end. I know it sounds like I'm being really harsh on this film, and I do like a lot of things about it, but it just doesn't feel like it needed to be made. Let's just dive right into some of my positives I have with this movie first, and I do have to start with the performances of Joaquin Phoenix and Lady Gaga. They are excellent in this movie, and anytime they're on screen together, that's when this movie is at its best, because Joaquin Phoenix won Best Actor for his performance as Joker in the original film, and I think he is the perfect choice to play this version. He is great in this film. I also really enjoy the way that they were able to perform all the musical numbers, and Todd Phillips had a very intentional choice of allowing these actors to have this raw feel to it. It's not all choreographed, and it made this film really interesting in these musical numbers. It's not as pretty or as glossy as you expect, like La La Land or West Side Story, and so it had its own feel to it, and I have to really respect that. I think the musical numbers were really good in themselves. I think there were too many of them, but easily the best aspects about this film is with the production in itself, with the production design being excellent. This movie costs like around $200 million, which is a lot more than the first film, and it looks great. Every single scene in this film looks so real. The cinematography is excellent as well, just like the original film. This movie is going to look beautiful on 4K, especially because most of this movie is shot with IMAX cameras. The direction in this film is great. The shots in this movie are great. There's a lot of very long, stretched out takes that really add atmosphere to this film. I think Todd Phillips did a really ambitious job of just really going for it in terms of presenting this film. I also really enjoyed the score. Once again, as the original film won Best Score at the Academy Awards, and the score in this film I think is even a little bit better. I also thought that the editing in this movie is great. It seems together so perfectly. The sound is so good as well. There's some moments where the sound is supposed to be super over the top, especially in one of the musical numbers where Joker attempts to kill some of the people during this musical number, and when he's hitting this person with a bat, the sound effects are super over the top, and it actually really fit the scene. I really enjoyed all of the technical aspects. It is fantastic. It is such a well-made film. If it got any Oscar nominations for these specific categories, I would not be upset about it. I mean, this is a beautiful looking film, but unfortunately the script is easily the worst aspect about this film. And I'm not even referencing a critical moment that happens in like the last 2 minutes of the film that's gonna leave many fans very angry, which I honestly wasn't bothered by. I kind of saw it coming already. But beside that point, I just felt like this movie was just rinse and repeat throughout the entire film, and it just got so exhausting to watch. And I was really into this movie. I enjoyed the slow pace. I enjoyed Todd Phillips doing something really interesting. This was a pretty ambitious presentation, and I really enjoy many parts of the script. There are some really great scenes in this film. Like, if you took these scenes in themselves, they are really good. The dialogue is great. I love the banter between characters. Some of the courtroom scenes are really great, but it feels like a bunch of really great scenes all stitched together, and it doesn't have this overall great feel to it. So when the movie ends, you feel like you didn't really get anything out of it. And then once the movie ends, nothing really happens. I truly feel that if this movie was never made, I don't think I would lose any sleep over it. I don't feel like I gained anything from the characters. And that's how I feel about Harley Quinn in this film, where Lady Gaga was a great choice. I loved her in this movie. I thought she was doing such a great job. But unfortunately, the way that her character is used in this film is simply as a plot device, and I found her use in this film just to be terrible. Harley Quinn didn't need to be in this movie. I know Todd Phillips wanted a female Joker of sorts and have this relationship, and I found that really interesting. I enjoyed all the scenes with them, singing, and I enjoyed, all the scenes they had in the jail, and it really stinks to waste a really great performance by Lady Gaga in this film just to have her character just not really do anything. I didn't mind the film being 2 hours and 18 minutes, as I really enjoy long films and I like a slow paced movie like this, but unfortunately none of this really comes together, and it just feels like a big waste of time, and that's where I feel like this movie just really lost me. So overall, Joker Folie Deux is one of the most disappointing movies I have seen this year, along with Megalopolis. I will definitely have a review for pretty soon. I have a lot to say about that. The technical aspects of this film are excellent, with amazing performances and some really great individual scenes that I actually cared about, but unfortunately this movie just didn't do it for me. It feels so disjointed, and it doesn't feel like it was supposed to actually be a sequel. I just feel like this movie was a really big and wasted opportunity, and with all that being said, I am giving Joker Folie Deux a straight down the middle 5 out of 10. Thank you guys so much for checking out this review. As I want to know below in the comment section, have you seen Joker Folie Deux? And let me know all of your spoiler-free thoughts down below. I would love to hear all about it. Before you guys check out this video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, leave a like as you normally should, and ring that notification bell so I can see you all in a brand new video. And I will see you guys at the movies.